Hungary's Foreign Minister Peter Szijjártó slammed European policies on Ukraine during the UN General Assembly in New York, highlighting the dominance of pro-war voices despite efforts by President Trump to restore peace.
Unfortunately, despite the good intentions, despite the efforts of President Donald Trump, the pro-war voices in Europe today are still much stronger than the pro-peace party voices. We here in this Assembly Week are supporting any initiative that brings us closer to peace and rejecting any initiative that moves us away from peace and closer to war escalation.
This comes after European and NATO members were unanimous in condemning Moscow's actions, calling them deliberate, reckless, and symptomatic of a broader pattern of aggression after Russian fighter jets violated Estonian airspace last week. Latvia's Foreign Minister Baiba Braze warned that Moscow's repeated airspace violations are part of a broader pattern of aggression.
Europe has witnessed a growing number of Russia's non-conventional attacks. Russia's war in Ukraine and Russia's flagrant violation of Estonia's airspace once again demonstrates Russia's complete disregard for the authority of this Council. We are not facing a Ukraine crisis. We are faced with a Russia crisis.
The Nordic countries echoed this sentiment, highlighting Russia's pattern of provocations.
Russia has again shown its reckless and lawless behavior. Not even 2 weeks ago, the Security Council convened in another emergency session following Russia's violation of Poland's airspace. Since then, Russia has also violated Romania's airspace. We urge Russia to immediately stop and to bear its responsibility as a permanent member of this Council. Russia's recent airspace violations and its broader campaign of malicious activities against other countries illustrates the seriousness of Russia's threat to international security.
Belgium, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands also slammed Moscow, warning of the risks posed by unchecked aggression.
If Russia's aggression remains unchecked, it is bound to repeat itself. It is imperative that we all protect the UN Charter and international law, and the territorial integrity and sovereignty of all nations must be respected.
Poland went further, linking the Estonian incursion to Russia's ongoing hybrid war across Europe.
Your insane nationalism contains a lust for domination that will not cease until you realize that the age of empires is over and that your empire will not be rebuilt. If another missile or aircraft enters our space without permission, deliberately or by mistake, and gets shot down and the wreckage falls on NATO territory, please don't come here to whine about it. You have been warned.
The European Union also weighed in. High Representative Kaja Kallas stated,
"The recent violation of Estonian airspace is unprecedented in both scale and recklessness. It was a deliberate provocation which could have ended with devastating results. This comes after Russian violation of both Polish as well as Romanian airspace with drones a week earlier. It cannot be that Russia accidentally violates 3 times in 2 weeks European airspace. And if it was accidentally, it was a mistake, there has been plenty of time for Russian Federation to apologize and say, sorry, we made a mistake. Russia's aggression against Ukraine continues, and now it is extending provocations against the European Union members. Russia hopes that it might force us to draw our focus away from supporting Ukraine and focus solely on our own security. Well, let me be very clear. European security starts with Ukraine. And any provocation against EU member states will only strengthen our resolve to support Ukraine.
German Foreign Minister warned that Russia's actions are a direct threat to European stability and international norms.
Russian fighter jets brazenly ventured into Estonian airspace. This is not the behavior of a state seeking to preserve global peace and security, but one of recklessly disregarding international norms. Together with our partners, Germany stands firmly in solidarity with Estonia. We stand together against those who seek to use military coercion to undermine our sovereignty, freedom, and solidarity. The most recent alarming incidents bring to light two significant insights. First, Russia's ongoing aggression is not only directed against Ukraine and its people, rather, in its reckless behavior, Russia poses a serious danger to regional security as well as to global peace and stability. Reckless provocations will not work. This is not just a problem for Russia's immediate neighbors. This is a problem for all of us, united here in our commitment to the UN Charter and its principles. Germany stands for these principles. Russia does not. We will not rest until a sustainable and just peace in Ukraine is achieved.
France's Foreign Affairs Minister emphasized that the airspace violations are part of a continuing escalation against Ukraine and its neighbors.
This latest incursion leaves no room for doubt. Russia is choosing escalation and provocation, continues to violate and undermine the principles of the UN Charter, the territorial integrity and the sovereignty of states.
Slovenia added that the incidents demonstrate a deliberate and dangerous pattern of Russian behavior.
Despite the best efforts by President Trump in Alaska, we still await a meaningful gesture from Russia, a sincere willingness to come to the negotiating table. And while we wait, Russia continues its escalatory behavior, intensifying attacks on Ukrainian cities and endangering and intimidating civilians, both in Ukraine and in its neighboring countries.
The United Kingdom delivered perhaps the sternest warning yet.
Those challenges include...
At best, these latest acts are dangerous and reckless. At worst, they are a deliberate attempt to undermine the territorial integrity of sovereign nations and European security. NATO's combined strength is unparalleled, and its determination to defend peace and security in Europe is unshakable.
As the UN deliberates, the situation highlights Russia's continued role as the main threat to European stability, with the repeated incursions demonstrating an escalation that the international community cannot ignore.